Hello everyone, back again. I was doing a WWE Summerslam 2024, basically a rundown of what happened, and I had to take a stop here. Windows are all fogged up here. I'm driving if it's not obvious, and sometimes my door comes out of place and it makes noises. It just rings. So if it does that, I'm sorry. I go ahead and shut it and hope for the best. Got cars coming all around me. That's how they do. They see you're moving, they try to cut you off. Like, why? No. Trying to figure out which way I want to go. Alright, so I went through the rundown. Definitely check out that video. I think it more or less will tell you everything you missed, everything that happened on SummerSlam. I thought they did a lot of things right. I think, once again, like I said, following this all year, I feel like they held out a lot just for this show. I guess whatever, but to me, I think a lot of it should have happened before, like Braun Breaker should have won first. Another match I didn't cover was the Bayley versus Nia Jax match for the women's title, which would be the SmackDown Women's Championship, yes. So we have Tiffany Stratton that has the Money in the Bank, so she was definitely someone to watch. You had Bayley as a world champion since WrestleMania, and then you have Nia Jax, who's been really impressive since she came back, getting a lot of wins and pretty much dominate a lot of her opponents. Also, she won the King of the Ring, which also Gunther won, and you can see that the King of the Ring actually meant a lot, that since Nia and Gunther won, they both won the championship at SummerSlam, like they were supposed to. You know, they had the match at SummerSlam. That was, you know, what was supposed to happen. So they did do that well. I thought that was very well done. Excuse me. I think I have another one. Oh, excuse me, allergies. So yeah, I thought that was the right way to go. In the middle of the match, you had, after Nia, had won the title, not after, but figure of speech, Nia won the championship, and it was going to be pretty obvious that Tiffany Stratton was going to be involved somehow, either during the match or after the match. So she came out, got a big reaction. They thought she was going to cash in the middle of the match. I believe what happened was Bayley got rid of her, got a lot of that out of the situation out of the way, so Tiffany's outside, and then Nia picked up the win with quite a bit of offense here. Hit 2 power bombs and 2 annihilators, which are like like a bonsai drop. 2 of those from the top, from the rope and whatnot. So that was cool. They did do one spot where Nia was on the middle ropes, I believe. She was on the middle turnbuckle, and from there, Bayley hit her with a power bomb, which I thought was very interesting to see, because generally they don't have Nia Jax go up for like high power moves and that type of stuff, like power bombs and whatnot. So I thought that was really cool that they did that. I thought they milked it a little too much. Like, Bayley held her a little too long. Like, that could have went out really bad. If Bayley hurt her knee or foot or something, she would have been in some deep trouble there. So you got to be smart about what you're doing there, for sure. But you've got Nia Jax is a new women's champion. So I thought that was definitely the way to go. I think Nia definitely made a lot of sense to be the next women's champion. They could have done it sooner even. But sure, they're building up this storyline with Tiffany Stratton and Nia Jax now. We'll see if one of them turns on each other, or Tiffany just holds out until Nia loses, and then maybe Tiffany Stratton cashes in, and then Nia gets mad that she lost the title and takes it out on Tiffany. There's a lot of different ways you can go with this. So I think that was very decently done. in my opinion. I thought that they did a fairly decent job there. Yeah. I'm trying to determine which way I'm going here while I'm driving because I went a different route today. Okay, I'm going to go this way. I'm trying to think what else happened, if anything otherwise happened. You got, Roman comes back, and make sure Cody wins the match against Solo Sikoa, keeping the title. You had LA Knight taking the championship from Logan Paul. You had Braun Breaker taking the championship from Sami Zayn. You had Liv retaining over Rhea after Dominic betrays her. You had Finn Balor betraying Damian Priest, costing him the World Championship to Gunther. If I'm missing something, I apologize, but those are the matches that I know happened. Like I said, I did listen to a watch-along, so to speak. People watching the show, kind of commentating what happened, giving their opinions in live time. So I knew what happened for the most part. And then I did watch a couple of reviews, listen to them, and kind of just got an opinion on what some people were saying. As per usual, I generally don't agree with a lot of what most of them say because it's all about, oh, I was right, or this is what they should do. And they don't really go for the, how do I say it, the business sense. Like, okay, this match is going to be good for business, so let's do it. Or this person is the most over, they're getting the best reactions and so forth. So this is the person they should push right now, or so to speak. They just go with what they like. Or this person hasn't won a match in forever, but they should go and face the world champion and win. It's like, no, that's not how that works. They do build up a lot of times. Like I've said, they do sometimes hold out a little too long, and sometimes they do things way too quickly. Generally, I think nowadays it's definitely more they wait too long as opposed to rushing things. Sometimes they could speed a lot of things up. But overall, I thought the show went over pretty well. I thought most, if not all, the matches went the way they should have. And you don't really get that very often. So I'm appreciative of that. Very grateful for a good show. I think it definitely builds up to a lot of different things. Roman Reigns, let's see if he shows back up on Raw or SmackDown. It would probably be SmackDown. In the near future. He probably still will only be part-time, only show up rarely to make it special when he shows up. So that's probably what's going to happen. And some people are probably already thinking, well, he's going to be there every week. No, nobody said that. That's your own opinion in your own mind. And just because you have your mind set on something and it doesn't happen, doesn't mean that was what they were doing, or they, whatever. They do try to trick people too. I mean, that's, CIA training and all that type of stuff, media training, they all do that kind of stuff. And that's a fact. But, a lot of people, they don't have long-term visions and understandings of things. They just kind of, like I've said many times, I've covered these type of topics. We've got people defending how Sami Zayn beating Braun Breaker clean last month at Money in the Bank was a good thing or whatever. Especially he's a heel. And 90% of the time, it seems like the person who's in their hometown wins. Where it used to be, 95 to 100% of the time, if you're in your hometown, you lose. So it's predictable both ways. It's predictable then, it's predictable now. So Sami Zayn was in Canada, not even in his own hometown, just his home country, Canada, that he had to win. And I disagree with that, especially if you're a babyface. If you lose in your hometown, the person who beat you is going to look way, way worse than the hero losing in their hometown, in my opinion. I think it's very important to make a very good heel for the babyface to overcome, or for someone to overcome and become a top babyface, so to speak. So I've definitely covered that to this point. Once again, Money in the Bank, they thought maybe Chelsea Green would take the championship, the Money in the Bank briefcase because she was in Canada as well, her home country. And no, nobody said that. That was an opinion in people's own minds that they wanted to happen, or they thought, maybe I'm seeing this connection here. Well, that's not what happened. So, and it wasn't a big deal. And Tiffany Stratton should have won the Money in the Bank. That was the right call. I still hold out that Drew McIntyre should have either not won the Money in the Bank, or he shouldn't have lost. He shouldn't have cashed in, period. If he won Money in the Bank already, and then just for CM Punk to mess him out of the championship match against Damian Priest, I thought that was very foolish. You could say, well, it's for storyline. Well, I don't think that's the way to go about it. You basically just didn't even use the Money in the Bank. You did that back in 22? Yeah, 22 when Austin Theory won it. He cashes in on the United States champion and loses. Like, what was the point of doing that? There was no point in doing that whatsoever. And then they basically just made Austin Theory a joke. And then tonight we had, I think it was Austin Theory and Grayson Waller came out against R-Truth, Miz, and then the guest host was Jelly Roll, some guy they're pushing the music or whatever. I'm sure he's pushing some agenda. Something to that degree, for sure, or he wouldn't be there. Yeah, I definitely think that messed Austin Theory, who was with Grayson Waller, and basically just jobbing them out and almost making them look like they're arguing and they need to break up as a team, so forth. They did really little to nothing with them as tag champions. Like, you give them a win and then nothing else. Like, you give them the WrestleMania win, and then what do you do afterwards? That's what really matters, is what happens afterwards. And I don't think they really did a whole lot. And they just had him lose to Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa just to drop him to the Bloodline group, the new Bloodline. So, I don't know really what all they thought long term besides that. I think that was pretty obvious that either didn't think it through or they just thought that was good enough. Okay, whatever, I suppose. I think I covered the show inherently, as much as I could to what I know. I'm trying to just kind of get some thoughts on what I think for the future and some opinions as opposed to the matches and the specifics of the matches and whatnot. I'm not really a big fan of watching the in-ring product and all. I'm just everybody does that. I want to do something different where I'm not dissecting the moves and watching the show in live time and all this different thing. I think that's definitely a different thing than what I'm trying to do. I think I cover the matches and so forth, and so to speak. So I'm going to let you go here. Thank you guys for watching. God bless.